Hello everyone, guess what? You'll never guess what. You're probably going to guess what. Apparently Muslims can't be trusted after all. They're trying to set up some kind of Islamophobia blasphemy law so that we can't, investigate the mass rape of Britain, which they did. Anyway, let's listen to the video.
Let's talk to Ralph Schulhammer, a political scientist, because Labour's Islamophobia definition, according to campaigners, will be used to hinder the police. Angela Rayner, of course, has still got the working group working on this, on sentencing, on charges being brought. Basically, campaigners say there's already laws to protect people of various different faiths, and why do we need a definition of Islamophobia? This story still hasn't gone anywhere, hasn't gone away. Ralph, very good morning to you.
Good to see you, Mike.
Nice to see you. What's the obsession that the left have with this definition? Because, we don't seem to have to worry about a definition of any other,
You're forgetting anti-Semitism, Mike. They seem to make quite a big deal about that.
Faith-based problem, but why do we need this?
Well, let me be very blunt here. This is a preemptive move by the Labour Party to blackmail and threaten everybody who wants an inquiry into the rape and torture gangs, because let's be honest, this is what they are. Right. By the way, what they are, not what they were. These networks that operate. And it's also an attempt to prevent any inquiry into the fact that Islamist networks have infiltrated the Labour Party. I spoke with Raj Miha yesterday, by the way, who is a man who has done yeoman's work in uncovering the cover-up of the Labour Party regarding these torture and rape gangs. And what the Labour Party is attempting at the moment in all areas of life is a descent, in some areas at least, into a quasi-totalitarian form of government. I mean it as I say. I'm not trying to be hyperbolic here, Mike. What's happening in the UK is very worrisome. The only thing that gives me some comfort is that more and more British people are waking up to it. But this is a dangerous party at the moment.
Yeah, it really is.
We are waking up to it slowly, piece by piece, bit by bit, because it's unavoidably obvious. It's obvious to everyone, the two-tier system, the way that they can protest and get away with violence when we're not allowed to do shit, the way that they're treated and portrayed in the media compared to the way that we're treated and portrayed in the media. It's obvious to even a retard at this moment.
Is. I mean, the only good news, I suppose, is that the party itself, the government itself, is kind of riven with all sorts of problems, so that they can't really get anything done because they can't actually.
Not sure that's really good news, Mike. If you're saying it's good news that your party is so incompetent that it can't actually introduce authoritarian legislation that would act against the interests of its own people, I don't know if that's like a win-win or a lose-lose.
Agree within their own party or what they should be doing?
No, they can't get anything done because their priority is not serving the British people. And let's be very blunt here. This is a problem the leftists all over the West, by the way. Leftist parties, for the most part, with maybe the exception of the Social Democrats in Denmark, but they alone will not save Western civilization, have turned against their own people. Again, I'm not being hyperbolic here. Look at the policies.
Okay, well, stop saying I'm not being hyperbolic, and you might not sound like you're being hyperbolic.
Who gets priority? Who gets priority in housing? Who gets priority in welfare? Who gets priority in schooling? Wherever you look, it's always people that don't hold a passport of the country that are supposed to be governed by the parties, by the left-wing parties that are in charge. You see it in Germany, you see it in the UK, you see it in the United States, you see it.
Okay, with this, I would just like to premise that it's not just the left-wing party, because the Conservatives have been doing it as well. Okay, so it's been happening irregardless of what party is in power. Did I say irregardless? Regardless of what party is in power. So then you have to ask, well, if Islam and the Islamification of the UK is happening as a consequence of this, then how did it start? Because they didn't push it themselves. Who else has helped them get into those positions of power? Who is it helping? Like if there's a group of people out there that want to destroy the English.
As I've said many times, for a party like the Conservatives just to open the door and say, come on in, if all you see is a sea of white Christian faces. You need to see people from your own communities getting to the top of the army, getting to the top of the legal profession, getting to the top of the business, and yes, getting to the top of the Conservative Party and politics too. So the truth is, if we're going to build that strong, vibrant and inclusive society, we need more role models like this. Many more Muslim men and women at the top of British businesses, many more Muslim soldiers in the highest level of command, and of course more Muslims in our parliament. So there's not just one Muslim in the cabinet and one in the shadow cabinet, but British Muslims all across government in positions of leadership and authority.
Maybe it's them that are benefiting from this. Obviously working with Islam, but maybe it's them, and obviously the Fabians as well.
Do you suppose that even Rachel Reeves, even though she's what we call in Yorkshire thick as two short planks, the fact is, she knows perfectly well that if you tax the non-doms to force them overseas and force all the billionaires and millionaires and all their companies with them overseas, that is going to lose you revenue. She knew that when she taxed the private schools, that would mean all the private school kids are going to have to come into the public schools, and she was going to lose revenue on it. She didn't care, because it's all about destroy, 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 kill, kill, kill. That's what communism is all about. They know what they're doing. They are working with hostile actors and foreign regimes that do not wish us well. Because the Labour Party does not wish this country well, they wish to destroy us. Until you understand that, you understand nothing. That's the trouble we're facing here. They really mean us harm. They're trying to make the budget even more unbalanced until the whole system collapses, because it's only when they can force it to collapse that they will then say that capitalism has failed and we must now have communism written tooth and claw. And I can tell you, if you're the working people of this country, if they get away with that, you will not like it. You will suffer first and worst, because those who are rich enough and smart enough to see it coming will have got out with as much of their wealth as they can before it happens. But you won't be given that luxury. You will be trapped here in the misery that is communism. And that is what we face unless we can persuade the Labour Party to stop being communist.
Good luck.
And that's not easy.
That's not easy.
They're so wedded to the destruction of this country. But we have been tame in not saying this. We have kind of almost assumed that they are a legitimate political party just like the rest of us, and they all mean well. They don't mean well. They mean this country harm. They have an ideology that comes well before any mere individual comrade or citizen of this country. They do not understand the value of the individual because they do not love the individual. They are not a cult of love. They are part of the nastiest cult of hatred that has ever existed on this planet. And until that changes, no one should ever, ever, ever vote for the Labour Party.
You see it in Germany, you see it in the UK, you see it in the United States, you see it everywhere. And I know usually I was saying, oh, no, this is just exaggeration. It's no longer exaggeration. The numbers demonstrate it.
Well, it does. I mean, when you see the way the police operate in certain situations, whether they're policing a Palestinian demonstration, a pro-Palestinian demonstration, or a demonstration, as we saw at the weekend, Unite the Kingdom,
And who's the rat bastard in charge of the Metropolitan Police?
They behave in a very, very different way, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, you see the same in other countries as well. I speak from a German experience, but as you know and your viewers know, I care very much about the British people for a variety of reasons. And it is heartbreaking to say that you can call for a new Holocaust, you can be a convicted rapist, and sometimes your punishment is less than saying something the government dislikes. I mean, this is very odd. And the worst part, by the way, the exception, of course, are people like yourself, is the media is almost entirely silent on this.
Yeah.
They are part of the problem. This is a collusion between a political and media cartel that is not.
And GB News is really bad for this, really bad. Now you have to wonder why a GB News, supposedly like the people's news program, right? Why do they never tackle the problem of Islam?
Not just, hiding the truth, if you will, but they're actively trying to undermine and blackmail people who want to tell the truth. Again, that's a very worrisome development.
Well, many of them are manipulating the truth as well.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And pretending that certain things haven't happened or other things haven't been said, or, for example, the way that they were describing the numbers at the march on Saturday, 100.
Which people? Which people, Mike? Do you want to name someone? Have you got the balls?
10,000 people. Nobody in their right mind thinks that was 110,000 people.
On Saturday, well over 100,000 protesters marched in London.
And yet, that's the narrative that was coming out. That was the official figure that the police came up with. That was the official figure the BBC came up with. And everybody just reported it.
No, I can give you another example. There was a new report now published in Australia where the government also told the people that, the people that come migration is only, high-skilled labor. It's the things that the Australian labor market needs. Now we know that if you actually look at the overall migration numbers, only 12% are actually skilled workers. And the rest is, for the most part, a drag on the welfare system, with, as always, the exception of migrants from the UK and from, Western and Eastern Europe. So we are being...
So, how is that possible? How is the entire Western world being invaded by the third world at the same time? And how is the same excuse being rolled out across all of these countries? The same propaganda, the same bullshit. Weird, isn't it? Who's in charge? Is it the king? I don't know. Is it some foreign power in the Middle East that really doesn't like the West? I don't know. It's not us, though.
London is for everyone. Whether you were born in Newham or Nigeria, Ealing or India, Richmond or Romania, or anywhere else in the world, if you live here, you're a Londoner, and this will always be your home.
This is London!
But it's not even gaslighting anymore because it's done openly.
Right.
And this is what frustrates me so.
Well, we've started to get some decent figures now out of the Home Office and out of various other government departments because they're being forced to give them out. But they've hidden them for a long time about things like, sexual assaults and who's committing them, which people from which countries, how many people from foreign countries are actually on benefits, because we were always told before, no, when migrants come here, they're not on benefits, that doesn't work, doesn't happen. Well, it does happen. And there's millions and millions of pounds being paid out to them every single year as a result of it. And so we are getting a bit more at the truth here, but you're right, there are still people who wish to conceal it.
Yeah, and it's not just a financial problem. People are willing, I guess, to accept, due to economic hardship, a certain cut to their, under worst circumstances, to their income, as long as...
No, send them all back. Send every single one of them back.
They feel that everything else is working. But it's the case again, and I'm not speaking just about the UK here. If you live in a country where you feel less safe, less secure, less optimistic about the future, and then on top of it, you get poorer as well. I have to be honest with you, Mike, I think we're entering pre-revolutionary territory here. And if I would be a follower of John Locke, right, at some point you have to say that, if the system turns tyrannical, then the people have the right to revolt. I'm, of course, not fomenting a revolution now. For the moment, revolt at the ballot box. But I think it is very important for the British people to send a very strong signal at the next elections.
Yeah.
Yes, the government doesn't have another chance. Well, they probably have one more chance to actually do the right thing. And then it's gloves off, people. Then we know who the enemy is, and we know that there's no way out of it unless we fight back. That's it. We need an early election. We need one, now, okay? We need one now, and we need to be able to vote on the party that we want. If we vote for reform, shit, can you imagine this? Here I am saying, we need one more chance, and everyone votes for fucking reform. Nigel gets in, immediately steps down. Zaya Youssef is now the new PM, and we go, we're way more Muslim than we are now. Fucking hell.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen as well. And I think, the two main parties are going to be very, very shocked when they see that how that actually turns out. But listen, great to talk to you. Ralph Schulhammer, thank you very much indeed. Political science.
Political scientist, huh? Wow, maybe I should do that job, because it sounds like it's just telling people the truth. Anyway, look at this thing here. Let's have a look at it. Shabana Mahmood, right? She's gloating today, and she's gloating about, well, I'll let her explain it.
For years, smuggling gangs have run illegal and deadly small boat channel crossings. Their pitch to migrants was the false promise that if you cross our border illegally, you can stay here. Today, we have dealt a blow to those gangs. In August, the government struck a historic agreement with the French government. Now, 8 weeks later, the first forced removals of small boat migrants are underway. In return, we will soon accept the first legal migrants into this country following.
So, they've managed to get rid of one person. I think it was an Indian man, and they sent him to France. And what that means is we now need to accept one legal migrant from France. What is the fucking point? Well, it's so that they can say that they're tackling immigration, while actually not tackling immigration at all. They've imported millions upon millions of illegal boat bastards, and now they're saying we're going to get rid of these one by one, but every one that we get rid of, we have to accept a legal migrant. Get fucked. Revolution. I swear to God, there will be a revolution and we'll kick you all out forcefully. You can either do this peacefully or forcefully, because this beady-eyed, long-beaked woman was one of the people that actually voted against deporting people. There's a signature saying that she's blocking the deportation of illegal migrants. The current Home Secretary, yeah, fucking mental. Here she is saying something else that no one should ever say if they're in any position of political authority in the United Kingdom.
Islam, my own religion, like a lot of practicing Muslims, my faith is the most important thing in my life.
Okay, fired. Get out. You should not be anywhere near politics.
It is the absolute driver of everything that I do.
Absolute
I feel
driver.
a very strong calling of my own conscience, and my conscience calls me to God. That is how.
No thanks. Sounds like shit. And here she is, right? This is a woman that is proud to be English. This is a woman that is as British as you, but she surrounds herself with people that are completely foreign. Isn't that weird? Oh, and look at this fucking devil here. This absolute creep. We'll get onto that in a sec. She seems to be surrounded by this guy constantly. In this video, although she's speaking Pakistani, which, again, this is why I think they think they're clever, okay? Oh, I'm going to speak Pakistani. And she calls Britain a foreign state. Britain, she's the current Home Secretary of the United Kingdom, and she's calling this country a foreign state while speaking to Pakistani press. It kind of shows you where their allegiance is. And again, this thing is her shadow. Here he is again, back in the day, visiting Pakistan, saying that we need to send them more money, that Pakistan needs help. Pakistan, Pakistan, Pakistan. By the way, that's never stopped to this day. You've got current MPs in the House of Westminster, in the Commons, calling for the UK to build airports in Pakistan, because when they fly to Pakistan, the extra area that they need to go to is quite a long drive away. I'm not even making it up.
Deputy Speaker, on 28th of March, I shared on social media the work I and colleagues across the two houses have been doing to urge the government of Pakistan to build an international airport at Mirpur.
I'm not even making it up. When they fly to Pakistan, it takes them too long to drive to their house, so they want to build another fucking airport closer to where they live. Amazing. Anyway, look at this. She's also really proud of being part of, or supporting, the Muslim Council of Britain.
We are a community that is misrepresented as somehow being related to grooming gangs.
A terrorist organisation in most other places in the world, but for some reason, and I don't know why, it's not a terrorist organisation in the UK. Maybe it's because the UK is infested with Muslims. I don't know. That might have something to do with it. But again, current Home Secretary, in charge of MI5, in charge of immigration, in charge of our borders. And let's not forget that Shabana Mahmood was the MP that tried to set up a two-tier sentencing council. And then when Robert Jenrick called it out to her face, and the two-tier sentencing council would mean that white people would get longer sentences for the same crime, when Robert Jenrick called her out to her face, she lied to Parliament.
And then let me just say finally, as somebody who's of an ethnic minority background myself, I do not stand for any differential treatment before the law for anyone of any kind, and there will never be a two-tier sentencing approach under my watch or under this Labour government.
Yeah, this is the woman that was at that time trying to set up a two-tier sentencing council. It's just fucking lie upon lie. Takia! I'm using Takia, my magic Takia, to lie to your face. Fucking. Anyway, here she is again. Just that's an image that should be burned into your memory, right? That is who she is. She's a Pakistani Muslim that has too much power and too much influence in the United Kingdom. And this, I don't know, maybe you might find this funny. You might find this clip funny. Or you might just throw up a little in your mouth. Let's see which one.
And yes, we are a diverse one too. You can be English with roots here that stretch back 1,000 years.
That's true. That's what we call the English. That's how the country got its name, Mahmood.
But you can also be English and look like me.
No, you can't, you lying little sausage. No one in the United Kingdom looks like that. No one. Not a single woman that is English looks like that. Never has, never will. Not in a million years. DNA proves it. How many of your lineage have had sex with cousins? Just wondering. Anyway, so that's it, guys. For some reason, like I said, there seems to be a problem in the United Kingdom where Muslims are lying. See you later.